Hi everyone, it's Catherine here from Inky Finger Cat. Yeah, I did just start this video with you looking at the desk and I was like, I might as well just talk to you. So you've got my face. I've completely and utterly broken the no crafting spend or only spend what you've sold rules. I have gone bananas in the last few weeks, months. So there's been lots of splurges. So it started with things like the old to new sets that I shared with you, and then I've kind of gone bananas. So it isn't really an unboxing this video, but I just thought I'd just go through what I've bought, and they've all pretty much been opened. The last package arrived this week from, I have bought a little Stampin' Up splurge because of one stamp set, so we'll come to that probably as the last item. But yeah, I just thought I'd share with you what I've been playing with and what I've bought. And so anybody who follows my blog, which is www.inkyfingeredcat.me, so inkyfingeredcat.me, will know because they've seen stuff that I've been creating. But I've been so enjoying it with these new supplies, new stash. I've had a bit of a lease of creativity as a result, so I'm refusing to feel guilty, even though it does mean that we've got no money because I've just spent too much money. But I'm refusing to feel guilty because I've really enjoyed my playtime and I've been so inspired to do stuff. What it's also led me to do, and this is partly why I wanted to film this really, was to talk a little bit about inspiration and where you get it from and things like that, for those people that, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only person. Well, I know I'm not the only person because even Jennifer Maguire, who's like the guru, in my opinion, around crafting stuff. But even she says, you know, she goes through stages where her mojo isn't there. She can't quite work out what to do, what things she needs to do, how to use a supply, or she just feels about what she's doing. So we all go through that. And I think I've been through that for a while now, where I go through stages in what sort of stuff I create. So sometimes I really want to do clean and simple, sometimes I just want to do stamping, sometimes I just want to do die cutting, sometimes I want to go completely crazy and do loads of mixed media. But sometimes you just get a bit like, I've just got the same things, I'm going to create the same things over and over. And anybody who knows me knows I hate to do mass production of anything. So even if I make two similar cards, they're not the same. There's always going to be something that's going to be slightly different. So anyway, what me buying new stash has done is actually opened my eyes to other creators out there, and they've been inspiring me. I have followed so many new accounts on Instagram, and that is really where I'm finding most of my inspiration. Used to find it from Pinterest and stuff. To be honest, I don't spend hours on Pinterest because I find I'm really seeing similar things over and over again, and that's just not interesting me. Whereas on Instagram, it's a fairly fresh feed, and because I've started following more accounts, it's also opened up more things it shows to me, because that's how the algorithms work. So for quite a while, my Instagram, I've only really seen Stampin' Up demonstrators and their inspiration, which is great, and you all know. I'll shout out to Martin Stone in particular, and I can't remember the name of the woman. She's Australian, New Zealand. I'm now going to feel really ashamed that I can't remember either her name or even the country that she's from. Oh my word. But I do sometimes watch her on YouTube. I want to say Elsa, but I don't think that's right. Anyway, so let's just shout out Martin Stone because we love Martin. So Martin's Mayhems, for anyone who's not sure, never heard, and is looking for a UK-based demonstrator, I'm going to send you Martin's way because I love him. I love everything that he creates. It's just stunning and different. So anyway, my Instagram was full of Stampin' Up stuff, and not much else. So when I've started following particular brands and searching for those brands, I found so many new creators that I didn't know existed, who are creating some gorgeous things. Now, very recently I've started following a girl called Leanne. Her handle on Instagram is at Lily, Lilly, number 7H. If I was one of those clever edity people, stroke, it's not that you have to be clever, although I think there is an intelligence or some skills there, but it's more that I can't be bothered. So I'm a bit of a lazy editor. But if I was a clever editor, I'd put the handle up on the screen and you'd be able to link to it, but I don't think that's going to happen, so sorry. I'll repeat her handle at Lilly 7H. Leanne is her name. Oh, just blown me away with a couple of cards that she did, and now I'm like, I'm stalking the woman. She must be feeling a bit like disturbed. I mean, I think she's over in America, so I don't think she's really at risk from me, but I am slightly stalking her. And what's more, I've realised that some of these creators that I love also follow other people who again, and I now can't remember the name, but I've seen one that I was looking at last night. Stunning work with like black, which sounds really weird, but black and really vibrant colours. There will be a card made that's sort of cased on some of that work. So yeah, it's just opened my eyes and I've just feel so much more inspired. So there's been a splurge, completely and utterly not followed the rule of don't buy any new stuff. I've still been selling stuff in the background, but I've nowhere near sold what I've spent. I've spent a lot of money in the last few months. So long ramble, sorry, 6 and a bit minutes of rambling, but I'm going to turn the camera around now, put it down at the desk, which I have put a nice piece of pattern paper on, so you can't see how revoltingly filthy my desk is, and zoomed it in so you'll only see what I can show you on that 12 by 12 piece, because the desk is a tip, and that's the next job after filming this video. Okay, turn you around now. Okay, so in between me filming my little introduction and now, there's been a whole load happened. Daughter's gone out, husband's come home, had a little chit chat, all sorts. Right, I will start with my Stampin' Up stuff. No, I won't. I'll start with the basket. So I thought I'd talk about what I do as well. When I buy a new stash, I'm putting it in this basket and then I might actually use it immediately. So what have I bought since I last spoke to you, or rather what is in the actual basket? Well, let's start with these 3 little things. So these are little mini stamps, obviously. They're mini, they're really tiny, that I actually bought off either Vinted or eBay. Can't remember which one it was. I think it was from Vinted. So only a few pounds. I think that they've been used or potentially used once or twice or something. So little Rosie Posy from Altenew. Love that hello. I think it's a really sweet hello, but also this very sort of Art Nouveau, Art Deco. Can never remember which one it'll be. Probably more Art Deco. But Charles Rennie Mackintosh, that style of rose. So really like that. It came as a pack of 3, obviously completely uncoordinated and don't really go together, but I just thought they were quite cute. Now, it's very unlikely I'll ever use a sentiment because they've spelt it wrong. Clearly, American spelling of colour doesn't include the U. UK spelling of colour does include the U, so that doesn't make sense to me. But I could always do you, my world, and then type colour using different kinds of stamps. What are they called? Alpha stamps. I could use to do that, or put in the font or something. Words, Catherine. Oh, I've had a very busy morning stroke early afternoon. I've been working even though it's a Saturday, so I think I've used up all the brain cells for today. Right, anyway, use die cuts or whatever to add the word colour, but I really like the little crayon. It's just a little dinky, looks like a little Crayola crayon, very cute. And this one, I wasn't entirely sure what to make of this, and I've not used it yet at all, but it's like a tiny little tree, but you've got, it's a layered stamp, so you can see here, because Altenew, is it Altenew? Yeah, Altenew are brilliant at giving you like little indications to how to do it. But you stamp this one, and then these 2, to create that shape. And then you've got this one here that goes across the top to create that bit of shading, and then your tree trunk. So you put it together with different colours. So I thought that might be quite cute to maybe do some like autumnal themed cards with different colours to there, or some spring cards or something along those lines. Or maybe even, well, I suppose these kinds of trees wouldn't get snowed on, would they? I was going to say even maybe a couple of those would be snow bits, but that's not going to work because these kinds of trees will have dropped their leaves in the winter. But anyway, this is me getting all technical and sciencey. Okay. That isn't new. That isn't new. This is new. Sorry. I just told my husband off and making loads of noises as he's going up and down the stairs, and so I said, "Are you going to stop making noise?" He went, "Oh yeah, sorry," and then he waited until I'd switched the video back on to shout. Anyway, right. So yes, this one I bought off. This one was bought off eBay, I think, called Holiday Flower. Beautiful poinsettia image. I've used this one already a couple of times. Really enjoying doing this. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this one. I'm going to talk about Leanne again. So I spotted Leanne having made a card on Instagram, and it inspired me to make a card. And I now cannot find the cards that I made inspired by Leanne. Isn't that frustrating? Right, I'm going to pause and go and find them. Found them. I'd already put them with envelopes, so they were already in the ready to be used section. So this is the one that I made directly inspired by Leanne, with the turquoisey coloured flowers and the yellowy goldy coloured leaves, and then she'd used a teal background, and it turned out I hadn't got any teal cardstock, so I ended up sort of inking up a piece of shaded spruce, but with lots of tranquil tide, I think it was, I'd used on it to make it more of a teal colour than a green colour. So the bit that I really loved about this is not just the embossing in the background, but the embossing over the watercolour. I ended up making a second card, same stamps, different colour scheme, and doing exactly the same thing. I then made a Christmas one, which is in the Christmas box, so I can't go and grab that. But I had the idea that I'd want to do more Christmas ones in a similar sort of thing, so hence I fancied this one. Plus it was cheap on eBay. Can't remember how much I paid. It was only a few pounds though. I think it's about £5-6, which is quite cheap for an alter new set of this size. So I have been making some cards. I will share one of them here for you because they're not going to appear on the blog for quite some time. And there we go. This is embossing. So I haven't done the same technique as those ones that I've just talked to you about, but that's the plan. That is the plan. But this was white embossing onto some, it's actually some paper I'd done brayering off in. So that is my plan for this particular image. This is doing that same technique but using a different kind of embossing. This is a dark red embossing but over the top of some watercolouring. So same technique as the one that Leanne had inspired me with, and it set me off, and I immediately made multiple cards because I only showed you those couple. I actually made 3 in total using the technique. Then I went searching for more stamps I might be able to do that similar thing with. This one's probably a little bit small for doing it. I'd probably want one that was the full size of this panel, sort of 4x6, to be able to do it with. Slightly more open spaces, but I really liked it. Again, the font on this is so cute. I've just fallen in love with Alter New products. So I've used the Peace, Love and Joy, the May Your Days Be Merry and Bright a few times. So, and the Seasonal Greetings a few times already. So that's that one. So pretty sure I shared this, but maybe I didn't. I'll talk to you about it anyway. Zero Waste Leaf Pattern Die. So yeah, I'm sure I have talked about this one on the last one. I think this came as part of the full thing. But I want to show you something I've made with it. What have we got that I've made with it? Oh, here we go. Again, these are coming up on the blog in a little while, so bear with me, those that read my blog. Here we go. This is a 3-for-1, using that as the starting point. So I cut it out of a just an ink piece. So when I am mopping stuff up, I do things like that, and I just mop it up with a piece of paper, and then I stick it into my pouch that's got like some ready-made or inked up pieces, backgrounds, etc. So that's cut out of that, which you can see there's the rest of it there. Then I also cut it out of craft, and then I put the craft pieces into this one, left this one with the white at the back, and this one is the opposite because it's just the leaves, and then this is the mix of the two. And then, as you can see, I've used butterflies to decorate it, and those are the butterflies that are actually from Concord and Knife, the boho butterfly stencil pack. So you've got stencils, you've got dies, and then you've got this little stamp set that goes with it. That's sitting in my basket because I've been doing these cards recently. But again, they're going to go up on my blog in a few weeks' time. I'm in love with that. What do you reckon? Just think it's so pretty. Anyway, I've done quite a few cards anyway with this zero waste leaf pattern die. The other thing that I found is really useful with this is, you see all those dots and circles it cuts out. When I'm not putting them back into the pattern, I've been putting them in here. You see there's loads of like circles and stuff in there, along with the gems that are from the original package. Just they're really handy for adding as embellishments, especially if you've cut it out of a speciality paper like a glitter cardstock or something. Oh, so that's the stamp that I used. I'm pretty sure I've shared that one already to do this one. Again, can't remember if I've shared this or not. So this is the waffle flower, it's called Oversized Sweet. I bought it with the word die that goes with the word sweet. I just thought that this would go with lots of different things. I quite like some of the sentiments. I've mainly used the birthday wishes and the large sweet a couple of times. Don't think I've got a card at hand. Let me just go and check. No, I had a little rummage, can't find one. So, hey ho. But I think I'd already shared that one anyway. I bought it, hang on, let's just check. I bought it to go with this, the stacking cake stencil and die set. That's what I bought it to go with, because I thought it would be really sweet to go with the sweet things of cakes. That's what I bought that to go with. But again, I'm pretty sure I've shared those already. So I definitely shared the zigzag floral and the rosy outlook, both of which, well, no, rosy outlook I've used quite a lot already, but that's partly because when I was playing with it I created loads. I've only got a few left now, but I put them into this little pouch so that they were ready to use on future cards. So that's why I've used that quite a few times of late. Again, don't know whether I've got a card here. I've organised my card stash recently, and yeah, can't find it. Anyway, yes, I've used that recently. This one I've not used as much. I did use it on a card for one of the 18th birthday cards that's been made recently for the lovely Casper. So she's already received the card, so I can't share that at this point. I'm pretty convinced I've shared this, which is the balloon background die and associated stencils. I again have used that quite a few times on 18th birthday cards, but again, one of them was for Casper, one from my daughter, one from me. So that one's already gone to her. Don't know if I shared this one or not, but this is the Dynamic Duo Luscious Flora. So you get some layering stencils. I think there's 2 stencils, and then there's this stamp set. So let's see, have I either got a pre-prepared background. I don't think I have. But I know I've definitely made cards with this, but do you know, I don't know what I've done with all my recent cards. I realised where one of the cards has gone. It's already gone to my friend, and it was using the other panel from this one. So you can see there in the background, you're stenciling your leaves with with green or whatever colour you want, and then you stencil your flower shapes and then overlay that with the line art stamp, which creates your little what's the word, stems and the line art on the buds and the leaves. So that's one that I created using that. Must admit, it's one of those backgrounds that's probably more tricky to use. I really enjoyed on this one doing it with the grey rather than with black. The original time I did it with this sort of colours that's on the packaging, the reds, and then I did it with the black, and it was just really an intense background, so it was more tricky to finish the card off. I did do it, but again, that's already been sent to a friend, so I can't share that. But yeah, a bit of a trickier one to use, that one. The finals, oh no, there's one more stencil set. This is where they're not in the basket because they're all out on my desk. So the other one, that's another Dynamic Duo Treat Yourself, I'm pretty sure I've shared already. So there's the sentiments and some odd looking stamps, but they basically fill out the letters in Happy Birthday. They provide the insert for them. Right, I also bought this one. Let me just slightly tidy up those bits. Right, I also bought this one, which is a pre-owned stamp from, again, it was either eBay or Vinted, I can't remember which one. I just thought there was some nice sentiments in here, and again, the cake element would go with those cake stencils. Don't think I've got one here that will show you any of these with the stenciled words, with the sentiments on. Oh, hang on, yes, this one has that Happy Birthday to You stamped image there, so you can see it in action, and that one wishing you the happiest of birthdays. So those two went with this stamp set. It came from this stamp set. Again, only a few pounds. Obviously all these only a few pounds add up. You'll note I didn't say only a few pounds for quite a lot of those things. They were all full price, all proper, etc. Excuse me. Okay, well, I'm sort of doing a half tidy of my desk as we do this, which is a positive thing. Right, you'll have definitely seen this before, which is the Dynamic Duo Hanging Houseplants. Fabulous stencils that create your little houseplants, and then you stamp over your hanging things if you want to. Cute little sentiments. I have just made a couple of cute little sending hugs cards using these. Just love them. What I've really enjoyed doing now on these, which is a bit different, is like adding a little detail using my pro markers, just to add a little bit of detail to the leaves. Don't know if you can see it particularly well, but I enjoyed doing it. Nobody else will notice it. Not the people I send them to, probably not. Right, the two stencils to share with you. First one being this Patchwork Tiles, which is from Altu. It's a 2 set of stencils. So you get the patchwork tiles, so you get these tiles where it's every other one. Then obviously you can just move it along, twist it, whatever, flip it over. And then comes with these more intricate patterns on. So you can see there, ink it, clean it, flip it, ink it again, and then you can ink over with that as you wish. There is a coordinating product to be able to do different things inside the boxes, but I've only bought the stencil. To be honest, not as fussed by this one. Now I've started using it, might not stay in my products for very long. Just going back to this card, you can see that that's just that pattern in the background that I just created a tile effect. I have done a background, I think. Let's see if I can find it. It's not in there. Go, that was my first play with it. I mean, it's cute, quite enjoy it, but I'm not entirely sure what I'd use it for, and I'm actually thinking I might go back in again and just do the others with some slightly coordinating colours or something. But yeah, it might not stay in my collection for too long, this one. I'm not entirely sure. What I did do was create a really pretty card using the mop-up of this. When I'd done that inking for that more, you know, precise version, I just sprayed it with water and then mopped it up, and that created the background for this card. Can you see that? Now that's really pretty. We'll see. You can see there I've used the cake die and stencils, and so yeah, in real sneak previews of upcoming cards on the blog. In fact, that one might have already gone on the blog. Right, this stencil set I have been loving, which is the flowers and petals. So there's 4 parts to it, some very flowery ones and then some leaves and dots ones. Create the most amazing backgrounds. Not sure what I can share with you. I can probably show you this one, which has been on the blog already. Created that background there. What it does create, because it goes with a matching stencil set, it says, which is basically a square with a circle in the middle. So it's difficult to see from here. Maybe the inspiration will show it more obviously. But yeah, can you see there? It sort of puts a very faint circle in the middle. So it's not a complete background. So you can just mask off that middle part and it'll create that space there. So loving using this. So what I did on that card was I just enhanced that sort of circle by actually putting a ring that I'd cut out using 2 circle dies over the sort of the slight lack of pattern on that circle. It turns out one of my dies is almost perfect for it, so it's great. But yeah, loving using that particular stencil set. And that, I'm just looking around my desk. Is there anything else that's new that's sort of like hiding? No, I don't think so. This piece of paper has, of course, travelled all over the desk during the course of that. See, there's another of those mop-ups that'll be perfect for using with that zero waste die. So I spotted something in the new Christmas catalogue of Stampin' Up. There was quite a few things that I was like, oh, I quite like that. Oh, I quite like that. But there was nothing that made me go, I need, apart from one stamp set and oh, that'll be helpful rather than need for an embossing folder. So I did top up the order with 2 sets of cardstock, so one in the brights and one in the subtles, because I'm sort of running lower on some of the coloured cardstocks, so I thought that would be a useful thing to always have. Plus, everybody who watches me or knows that I hate the white cardstock that I'm currently using, but cheap cardstock, never buying it again. So I've got loads of it left still, but I have bought some basic white because I know that that's useful and always good to have. And then I've also bought some thick basic white, which is good for making card blanks out of, which, to be honest, I don't do that often. I tend to buy card blanks, but I've been really loving doing sort of DL, long, thin cards. and I don't have any card blanks for that. So the only cardstock that I've got that's really suitable is either I've got some 12 by 12 coloured, I've got all my colours, but I've only got cream. My white hasn't been thick enough to be able to do it. So it has sort of limited me in doing those kinds of cards. So I thought that would be useful. So last two items, we're nearly there. Embossing folder. Love this embossing folder. I have a Christmas sentiments embossing folder, and I use it quite a lot, but it's very portrait. You can't use it on anything that's landscape. And I was like, oh, that's so frustrating. I really want a landscape wordy type embossing folder, and this is perfect because actually it can go portrait or it can go landscape, because of the fact that, and obviously seeing it like that doesn't help, but yeah, because you've got words going landscape and you've got words going portrait, so it works in all directions, so it's perfect for that. So I've already made a card very quickly, just took a really small panel of white, embossed it, did a little bit of just dragging my brush that got a very little ink on it over the top to enhance some of the embossing, but I don't know how well that comes out on the video. Bit of ink spritzing, dribbling, splattering, whatever you want to call, simple embellishment. So just to test it out, and the reason why I only did a small panel is actually I did do a full panel, but when I ran it through my embossing, through my big shot, I'm having to put a shim in a lot because of the fact that my big shot's just lost pressure. So I quite often have like a piece of scrap cardstock that's on the top, and I ran it through with that, which meant, of course, it only applied pressure to the bit that was on. So I did have to cut a little bit off. So it is missing like this part of it here, but that's fine. That's okay. I can cope with that. So that was ooh, that'll be useful. As I say, there are some other things in the Stampin' Up catalogue. It's not that I don't like them. It's just I have a lot of Christmas stash, and as I am still on a complete ban from buying papers, I don't really want to buy stamps that maybe would work well with those papers, but I probably wouldn't use it otherwise. Plus, I have quite a lot of fauna and flora type Christmassy stamps, and they tend to be the things that I like using the most at the moment. I'm really obsessed with poinsettia at the moment, or floral stamps for Christmas. So I think that this year there's going to be a lot of those made. So I hope that the family who get Christmas cards from me, as in for them to send out like floral Christmas cards, because that's what they're getting. I don't tend to do too many cutesy cards. I know that one's quite cute, but I don't tend to do too many of those. And that is a stamp set that I've bought, and it's not here. I'll grab that before I go to my last Stampin' Up one, so maybe we've not quite finished. But yeah, I don't tend to make too many cutesy cards. Having said that, I have made some cutesy Christmas cards, absolutely, this year. I've been sharing them on the blog already because I've bought this Avery L stamp set that I love. But yeah, so I don't know, there was enough stuff that I could have easily spent £99 and become a demo again. The likelihood is, though, I didn't really need most of that stuff. So there was only this that was oh, that'll be useful, and the stamp set I'll share last. The rest of it was more of a, no, I'll wait until I've used up all my papers, and then when I'm in the position that I might want to buy a whole suite of things where I want the papers as well, maybe it'd be worth it. But at the moment it wasn't worth it, hence I mainly topped up my little order to make the postage worthwhile, which is astronomical. But to make the postage worthwhile, I bought cardstock. I bought some for my friend Helen as well, so they've got that sitting there waiting to deliver when she's back from her lovely jolly Cornwall holiday. So there's that embossing folder. Let me grab those other stamp sets, the other stamp set from Avery L that I bought. Okay, so having just said don't do cutesy, these are so cute. Right, I bought this because I don't actually have a Santa stamp anymore. I've had a few Santa stamps over the years. for one reason or another, they've never been quite right. Either they've been too small and therefore they don't look quite right on the card, or they don't stamp well. And so yeah, so I don't have any of those anymore. I think I've got a couple of freebie, well, they're not free, are they? You buy the magazine, you pay for the stamps as well, but ones that come with magazine sets that I've got Santas, but they're not my kind of Santa. They're just not been quite the Santa I've been looking for. What I want is a cute Santa, and this is a cute Santa. I mean, he's a really cute Santa. So that was why I bought this set. But when I bought it, I stamped him out. To be honest, I'm never really likely to use Mrs. Christmas, Mrs. Claus. She's just not likely to use her. But anyway, she would make quite a cute little princess though. You know, if you put a crown on or something. But anyway, I'm not likely to use her. So I bought it for him, but I also stamped out the reindeer, and then I've just used the reindeer a lot. They are just so cute. I'm only showing you one of the cards. The others have probably all been on the blog by now. They're just adorable. Adorable. They're perfect on their own. They're perfect as a trio. Oh, I just love them. So, having said I don't do cutesy Christmas cards, I actually ended up making quite a few cutesy Christmas cards this year. And I probably have not finished making cutesy Christmas cards because these little reindeer are super cute. They're really easy to colour. They're not horrifically bad for fussy cutting out, because clearly I don't have the dies that go with them. I wish I did. Just so you know, this set is called North Pole Pals. I just love them. So that was the other stamp set that I bought, and it had already made its way into the Christmas box of stamps rather than sitting out here. So finally, I don't think I need to say any more. There you go. That's it. Love it. So anybody who follows my blog knows that my most used, most grabbed for stamp set for sentiments is this one. It's been around for a few years now. Absolutely love it. Use it all the time. It's just an incredibly well used stamp set. I tend to sometimes stamp extra ones out, keep them in here, then I can just grab them, etc. I love this stamp set, and I really thought that maybe a year or so ago that in the Christmas catalogue they did put out a Christmas one, and they didn't, and I was like, you've lost the plot. Why have you not done that? Why have you not done that? Well, now they have. Now they have. They've listened to me. Obviously they haven't listened to me because I didn't actually tell anyone, but I've manifested it. Love it. Love it. Clearly they go together. Birthday wishes. Birthday wishes. Birthday wishes. I just love it. So this was the reason. This one stamp set was the reason why I put in a Stampin' Up order, because I needed it, because I use this continually. Like, seriously, I need to stop using it is probably what you need to be telling me, but I just love it. Just love it. But there's 20 stamps in here, so it's actually it's more expensive than the original one was, because there's so many stamps in there. They have really packed that sheet with stamps. You've got exclamation marks for both fonts. You've got an ampersand for both fonts, as well as all of those words. So, having been completely obsessed with this stamp set since I got it maybe 2 years ago, don't know how long it's been around, but it's about 2 years, I reckon, I had to get this. So that, I couldn't quite justify buying just one stamp set and then paying the astronomical £6.95 for the packing, postage and packing. Hence, I was like, is there anything else in the catalogue that therefore I want? And I spotted the embossing folder and thought that that would be useful, and then had to just, you know, add to my stash with in terms of cardstock, etc., which weren't part of the no buying ban anyway, because that's consumables that, you know, I go through, so they weren't things that I wouldn't have stopped myself from buying. But yeah, so there you go, long video, lots of rambling. You've seen lots of bits and pieces. Let me turn you around. So yeah, you've seen lots of sneak peeks at things that are on the blog, that have already been on the blog, that have not yet been on the blog. You've seen all of the stuff I've bought. Yeah, I do need to stop buying. There's one more thing, sorry, look, see, I haven't finished because I bought a tool. I bought a waffle flower grip mat, perfect for stenciling, and for holding die cuts in place whilst you maybe ink them up. So that's sitting on my desk continuously and it keeps being used. Did I buy anything else before I sign off? I genuinely think that's it. Yeah, I do need to stop buying. We have just booked our holiday. We have just spent a lot of money on our daughter on, well, we bought her an iPad. One of those really big snazzy iPads. To help with some college stuff. It wasn't for just no reason. There was a reason, and you know, hopefully it'll do for a few years at university as well. But yeah, so we have used up our savings and we're back to being skint again. So I do need to stop buying things. What I need to do is probably take eBay and Vinted off my phone. Remove the temptation of me going, oh, it's only a few pounds. Oh, it's only a few pounds. And then the next thing you know, you've spent 50 quid very quickly. But I'm being so inspired by what other people are doing that it's making it really tempting to go and buy new stash. So I'm trying my hardest with the mantra of, if I'm inspired by that, what can I use? Which is kind of the Jennifer Maguire thing. She does tell us to do that. She does say, you know, use your own supplies, look in your own supplies. What can you do to use this technique to do it? So I do try to do that, but it's still tempting, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, these people, you know, they get given product to advertise to us sometimes. I'm not saying that happens with the anchors, don't think it does, but someone like Jennifer, you know, she does get stuff from companies so that she will promote it. Admittedly, I think she only promotes things that she genuinely thinks she will use and she enjoys using, and so I don't, you know, but the reality is they do get, it is part of their job to sort of influence me to buy things. Oops. Right, big old ramble, big long video, lots of splicing together for me because I had to keep pressing stop because I kept going off to go and find stuff. So I didn't make my life easy there by not prepping this video, but then would it be me? I'm also conscious of the fact that I've got like only this much as me is in the light because the light's over there. Oh, there you go. Oh look, this is me. Yeah, it also shows dark shadows, show the baggy eyes, etc. But let's not criticise. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that big long crafty ramble. Talked about all sorts, didn't I? I haven't created on camera for a while. Maybe that's the next thing. No, sorry, next thing is clear the desk because it was bad at the beginning. I've done a teensy bit of tidying up. I've also created more mess because I've been and collected extra stuff from around the room. So next thing for me to do is tidy up the room. That won't be videoed because there really isn't enough to justify doing that. I've now learnt that something that looks like it's horrific might only be a 3-minute job if I just get on with it, as opposed to looking at it thinking it might be a 3-hour job. So I'm going to tidy up and then I might do some crafting and I might video it and I might use some of those new stash, including my new lovely go-to sentiment set. Okay, until next time.